Peace and welcome to the One King podcast. My name is Showtime and I'm your host for the afternoon, the host for the evening. Whenever you watching this, you could be anywhere in the world, but you take some time to rock with me today, and I appreciate that. Hey, if this is your first time, welcome. If you've been back, if you've been here before, thank you and welcome back. Thank you for continuing to rock with me. So as promised, man, on previous episodes, I always tell me I don't have a guest, I don't have a guest, I don't have a guest. And guess what? I got a guest. So I got a special guest tonight, man. I want y'all to welcome with warm welcome to Miss Blessings from True Reflection LLC. What's going on tonight?
Hey, how you doing? I'm excited to be here.
That's
Thank you
what's
for
up.
inviting.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on such short notice. So Lush is not only does she have her own business here in town, doing spiritual healing, spiritual work, that sort of thing. She also is a stand-up comedian. So that's another piece. So don't. She might be throwing some jokes tonight. Don't be laughing at our pain. No, but that's what's up, man. But we also had a very successful podcast in the past. It was called the DZ and Weezy podcast. I'm DZ, she's Weezy. It was a cool dynamic on the podcast because it was a male and female perspective hitting some of the topics in a very different kind of way. Because I think we both share an out of the box approach to a lot of the things that people talk about in regular life and in pop culture. So it was cool. We got a lot of listens, we had no views. It was just audio, but we had a good following. So this is kind of a continuation of that, opportunity for us to get back in the box. So, so did you have anything before I let them know what we're talking about tonight? If you have anything you want to plug, anything you want to talk about, that you got going on business wise coming up, or did you want to talk about social media or anything like that before we dive in?
Well, I did want to let you guys know. So I do have a dating game, a speed dating game coming up on Valentine's Day. Um, Maybe you'll put some information in your link or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'll
it'll
put
be
the Eventbrite and the Facebook. Well, it's gonna be on Facebook, so I'll put the Facebook link into the comments on this podcast.
okay. So all you singles out there, y'all need to be checking this out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There are prizes. The winner will get their first official date. We'll give a gift certificate for your first official date for the winner.
Yeah, and I'm wearing this hoodie in honor of the dating game. Says Lover Boy on. But yeah, so February 14th, this year, Valentine's Day is on Friday. What better day for a date or a night out? Come join us. I'm actually going to be helping her host, or trying to help and host the event. I'll be there somewhere running my mouth. I don't know exactly what I'll be doing, but I'll be there. So definitely come out and check us out. It's out in Howard. If you live in Green Bay or Appleton or Park Valley, anything like that, man, make sure you come check us out, man. Because it's a unique opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to get out, not go to the bar to try to find love, not try to go to the club to try to find love, or not try to be a creeper and date somebody at your job who is not your real wife. It's just your work wife. They got a real wife at home. They got a real husband at home. So this is a unique opportunity to get out and try to meet some new folks. But yeah, man. So that's going on. Shout out to True Reflection LLC. And like I said, I'll have the information, the link to the event in the comments for this particular podcast. But yeah, man, let's dive right in. So one of the reasons why I got the Queen on here today is because we were discussing at a previous time how the way that the economy is set up right now and the way things are set up, it's not really fostering single people, single folks right now. It's not giving, not giving single one income home. But that's one aspect of it. But also the other side of that coin, the other side of the coin is that right now, with the things we're seeing on social media and things we're seeing in pop culture, it's not really fostering healthy man-woman relationships either, or not even same-sex relationships. It just seems like relationships in general, it's got like men being pitted against each other, men and women being pitted against each other, or masculine energy being pitted against feminine energy. It's just crazy. So it's like they need to be together in order to afford it, afford life. but everything you tell them we shouldn't be. So, I mean, what's your take on that, man? I mean, give us a little bit of what it looks like from your point of view, your perspective, and how that fits, and how the shoe fits you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like the reality is that the economy is not conducive with um the way that relationships are being viewed and mirrored for us right now. You know, we see a lot of dating shows, and Pop the Balloon is one of the most popular ones right now.
Right,
But we always see like we see more highlights on like when somebody's popping a balloon or they're talking shit about somebody. Don't know if I curse on him, but um, and or when there's a disconnect,
right,
or disrespect. And whereas like when there's union, it's not a whole lot of views on that. So I think that there's a huge misconception about what relationships should be, and it's unfortunate that a lot of us don't really have great examples within the home to see what that looks like. I mean, I don't condone like staying in a toxic situation or anything like that, but I also don't believe in giving up on love. I feel like finding love starts with finding yourself, and that's why I do what I do. I help people find themselves and find what they truly looking for, because when it comes to relationships, we tend to kind of like trans trans once it transform, transmute, like we basically like kind of conform into what we think that person wants from us. And unfortunately, that's only going to last about 6 months to 3 years that you could pretend to be somebody you're not. After 3 years, yeah, it's coming out the bag. Like the cat's coming out the bag. And but I think that it's time for people to really understand that the economy we live in is like a two parent home. It is like it's not conducive for single people, unless you want to be like constantly working, working 2 and 3 jobs. Um, Roommating is not a bad option, but as somebody and that's why I'm doing the speed dating game, um, because I personally, haven't had long, like successful long term relationships, but I have had an opportunity to really learn myself. A lot of the lessons was more so of like what I don't want. But a lot of that too is mirrors. There's something inside of me that craves whatever the outcome was. And it could be from childhood trauma, it could be from idolation, from movies, it could be fears. But I think that it's really important for people to really start looking at that. Like, why is it that the economy is not conducive to being single, but yet we're being like so programmed to idolize singlehood.
right, right. Especially for women too. It's like, and I know it sounds old school. I know it sounds traditional, like a traditionalist. But at the end of the day, you know, like, and you said this off the air in previous takes and things like that. You know, women they thrive when they're able to live and bask in their feminine energy, right? But if you got to be the breadwinner, you got to be the disciplinarian, you got to be the handyman, it's very difficult to bask in your feminine energies at that point. So, but I mean, that's what y'all doing. That's what women are doing. Women are being forced by, men not being around or guys not being enough to be both. And it's difficult and it's tough, and it actually takes away from what would typically be attracting or attractive to the opposite sex sometimes. You know what I mean? Or to a guy or to a person with masculine energy. One of the things that you said as well, and I don't think really this was even talked about or looked at in our parents' generation or generations before then, or even really our generation until right about now. Um, you guys mentioned the word healing. I don't think a motherfucker ever told me well, we got to break up so I can heal, or we got to go our separate ways so I can heal, or maybe we got some healing to do, or maybe we can come back together once we heal. That ain't never been it. It's always been this person did that, or I feel like you doing cheating, or you saying you treating me bad, or you ain't there for me when I need you to be. All those kind of things, which are all valid reasons. Like you said, I don't believe in staying in an unhealthy situation. However, it was never shit about no healing. I even heard people talk about couples therapy. But it was never said, let's go to therapy so we can heal. It was said, let's go to therapy so we can tolerate each other. So we can stand each other in this house and raise these kids. So I wanted to beat your head and you wanted to be mad. So I mean, I think those are some of the things that need to start being looked at because, like you said, it's one thing to go into a relationship knowing your flaws, but it's another thing going into a relationship without knowing the inner hidden flaws and the inner, trauma is the word that people be. I'm like, I don't understand why we don't consider our personal traumas when we go into a relationship. We can just consider it when we go to a job. Like we're like, oh, I could go work at the prison, but I was dealt with a certain way by guys when I was younger, so I can't go work in the prison, right? But you can't say that when you want to go into a relationship. You can't be like, oh, I can't go into a relationship with you, nigga, because you look like a nigga that did something to me before. You know what I mean? That's not fair. So, but yeah, man, and for guys, it's too easy to be like, well, I'll just try to find the next one. I'll just try to find someone else that don't have those issues that she's working with, or don't have this, or don't have this many kids, or don't have it. It's too easy for guys to just be like, well, on to the next. So it's a crazy setup because the dudes, 9 times out of 10, and I'm not saying everybody, I know it's the one-offs and the exceptions out there, but the guys pretty much get to float through life and be like, all right, I can get a one-bedroom apartment. I can live in my car. I can go to a shelter. I can go, because they ain't got the kids. They ain't got the kids. They got to be in a specific school system, or you got to live in a certain area to keep your kids in the school. You got to, what I mean? The guys ain't got that, so it's becoming ultimately more difficult for the woman to try to raise the kids if she got kids, and it's tough, man. And then people wonder why people be on Section 8 and still having two jobs, and don't tell the government, or don't report it. Shit. Even with that, I can barely afford. That's what they be thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I mean, so what do you think of some of the short term and long term solutions or something like that? I mean, hey, like I said, shout out to you for the dating game because I mean, at least going into that, y'all both supposed to be single. A lot of the stuff that we do out here with intermingling and dating and shit like that, this dude got a whole family. The whole family that he was never mentioned to you. Then once he smashed, you're gonna be like, you know what? I gotta be honest with you, sweetheart. Oh, now you gotta be honest with me. But I'm just joking. But what's some of the short term and long term solutions?
I feel that the short term solutions is going to be identifying your shadows. And when it comes to relationships, I know one of my biggest shadows was codependency, something that I never thought that I was capable of because I was raised by independent women. You know, although like I had a active father and father figures in my life, when it came to the feminine in my life, they were very masculine, very independent. So it's like I was raised on knowing um, how to take care of myself. So the idea of codependency was like, like like it was just something that like I never thought I would do or be capable of doing, but I found myself doing it anyways. So identifying your shadows will help you actually it'll help you in the short term way, right? Identifying those shadows and let's start with codependency because that's the biggest one with relationships and why they fail because people don't want to acknowledge that they are being codependent in relationships. Like we're talking about right now, the economy is not conducive to being single. So therefore, a lot of relationships are because hey, it's more affordable that we just stay together. right? But then in that aspect, if you um, conform the relationship to, some other title instead of it being a commitment. It's like open now because, we know that when it comes to when we're talking about romantic relationship, um, both parties or one party isn't really willing to um, appease the what's necessary for a committed relationship, such as commitment, honesty, loyalty, all these different things that comes with that. Um, but then what happens is there's a third party that's now being affected because now that third party is trying to figure out, like, you hear people say, like, you hear on social media people talk more and more about it, like, oh, you live with your wife or you live with your baby mama or y'all not together. Like, it just sounds crazy, right? But it's like, it's the economy. What you want me to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's such a fine line um to understand codependency and dependency, like, because sometimes you can actually have a person that you can depend on and help you out, and y'all, because the dependency is like dependent on one another, whereas codependency is only one person is really putting in the work, putting in the efforts, putting up the bill, right? And the other one isn't. So then you're dependent on the other person to take care of the needs that aren't met, that you aren't meeting for yourself. That's what it boils down to. Codependency is depending on someone else to meet your needs that you're not fulfilling within yourself. The long term is to learn how to fulfill your own needs so that when that other party does meet those needs, it's more of an equal give and take.
Yeah. And for me, when I look at the overall situation of it, and I think I kind of hinted on this off the air, like it may be different. I feel like I certainly believe that men and women are looking at this thing through a totally different lens. Like we're in the same room, we're in the same book, we're in the same conversation, but guys and women are looking at it through a totally different lens. For me, you know, and it's difficult. It's difficult at times because if you think about the situation for a male, you know, if if a person is in the house, and they got, whether they got kids with the lady or not, but they decided, they relationship ain't really working out like that. But now it's like, well, my kids is here. So now dude was like, what do the guy do? Like what? Like it's just so difficult. It's just so difficult. I can remember, just speaking from personal experience, I can remember being in a situation where, a long term relationship was coming to a close. I think both parties had agreed that, it just wasn't what we wanted it to be any longer. But kids were present, children were present, and the lifestyle was present. The lifestyle was present, and the lifestyle that was present was based upon both of our incomes. So it was like, shit, do we just stay together so we can pay the bills and keep the lifestyle we got up? I mean, you like high heels, I like Jordans, I like cars, you like cars. Like, do we keep doing this and keep that up? Or do we do what's best for ourselves and our sanity and kind of go our separate ways and try to figure that out, and it's difficult because it's byproducts of it all. It's feelings that's left over by the kids. It's feelings that's left over by the family members of each party. You know what I mean? Because it's a long-term relationship. After 4 or 5 years, and y'all have been to 4 or 5 cookouts and 10 Fourth of July's together and shit like that. It's like we all basically family now. So dude said, you two selfish bastards can't work it out. Not all of everybody fucked up. so,
Yeah.
so it's
Especially when,
difficult.
yeah, especially when you have people vicariously living through you, you know. So, so I think that's one of the things that I would say, like, when it does look good on the outside, that's helpful to the community, is like seeing a relationship that is growing, you know, especially in a direction that somebody else wants and can't seem to maintain, you know. It just it's crazy that it's hard on everybody, but I think that the main goal is self, whether it's for that person or yourself. Because if you're not happy with your life, you definitely have to change something. Something has to something has to percolate. Something has to change because over time it becomes toxic when it didn't have to be like that. When you can actually look into that's why like you talked about, couples therapy and we talked about doing like couples readings, so in the event that you want to make your relationship work, I feel like there's a way to make it work, but it involves like really being honest with yourself and being honest with your partner and really looking at what is the core issue here,
Yeah.
and is it something that's compromisable? Can we compromise? Because a healthy relationship, you're gonna have to learn how to compromise because we're two individuals. We came from two different spaces. We came from two different types of parent homes, and upbringings was a little different. So it's like all that because the reality is of relationships is they literally are just mirrors of your childhood trauma. You're literally just reliving something from your childhood. But after the honeymoon stage is over, because the honeymoon stage is always very lovely. It's always sweet. It's always nice and smooth sailing and lots of smiles and everything you ever wanted. But once you get triggered, right, by that, once that childhood wound get triggered, things tend to like kind of flip because I feel like the triggered person is looking for the response they never got from their parents, if that makes sense. So that's why it just takes so much healing in order to make a relationship work. Individual healing.
It does, man, and I think I don't know. I mean, I don't even think a lot of times we know ourselves well enough before we get in a relationship to even be in a relationship sometimes, and when I say that, like there's not a really a period where people go through self-examination. I know when I was in high school, one of the things they told us was go to college so you can find yourself. Even if you don't get all of the 10 years worth of education to get your master's degree or whatever, like that's why, it's jokes. It's jokes to say, in college, women is 2 years away from being bisexual. So because like you gotta figure yourself out, like you gotta figure yourself out, and I don't think a lot of us go through that period. So we end up in relationships, and we be like, well, damn, as the relationship goes on, you start to realize things about yourself and realize things about the person that you with. That it's like this really wasn't a fit to begin with, or something's gonna have to change in order for it to continue to be a fit. Because like I said earlier, it's like we're looking at the world through two different lenses. Like a female could be thinking in her mind, okay, let me find my Prince Charming so that I can find a guy that really wants to be with me and is in love with me and loving me and love my dirty drawers. I may not love him as much, but if he can do this and this and this for me, I feel like I can make it work as long as I stay prayed up and do what I need to do as a wife. That's not really a good way to approach a relationship. But that's what 90% of people do. It's unfortunate, but the guy don't know that. The guy thinking, I got my dream girl, and I mean, it depends. It depends. But like I said, the root word of relationship is relate. Are we relating on the same level with the same general basis idea coming into a relationship? Because if we ain't, it's only a matter of time before it ends. Or it ends up like, or let's just say, it turns into something that could be more, more toxic than helpful. But if you do have those conversations and go into it with the best intentions of knowing that, ain't no guarantee this is gonna work out. But at least y'all can say we started on the same page. Sometimes we be having a totally different book. This my book over here, bitch. You will never read the pages in this motherfucker. And that's difficult to create a healthy relationship when you go into it like that. So whether it's money or emotions or whatever, it's all energy. So if the energy off, the energy off, right?
Yeah, yeah. And if you're intuitive, you definitely gonna feel it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I,
Oh man.
No, I was just gonna say, you can actually learn yourself through relationships too. I feel like majority of my journey of learning myself was through relationships. You know, um, they say, you have to teach people how to treat you. And for years I had no idea how to teach people how to treat me. I didn't even know how I wanted to be treated. I mean,
Right.
I knew how to treat people and I was
Mhm.
good to people, but I realized, and I thought I was showing people how to treat me. But apparently, we live in a world where you have to teach them how to treat you because people
Yeah.
don't no longer like what they say about kids, like don't do as I say, do don't do as I do, do as I say.
Yeah.
Like, so and I as a kid I actually like for some reason like I will follow like sayings like that. So it's like I really thought that like if I walk the walk then people will mirror me. And really they're just mirroring back, you know, who who they are and where they are in their life at that time, which is totally opposite of me and probably even like my fears or even shadows, so um I feel like with relationships, I've learned the most about myself, but not in the ways that I expected. Not in like in the way, and I mean that by like I really live in a fantasy world in my head, like real talk, like and it's just really beautiful in my head, and then reality kicks in, and what I mean by that is like I really think that relationships are my partner is supposed to come to me and say, man, baby, um, you're so beautiful when you do this, or you know I love the way when you speak up and you just shine, that encourages things. But instead it end up coming out the other end, which is more like uh the shutting off, if that makes sense. So like if it's about me speaking up, encouraging me to speak up, I would end up with someone that shuts me up, and then I realize like, wow, so this whole time I have not been speaking up for myself. So like it'll just be like mirrored back to me in a totally opposite way than what I expect.
Yeah.
um but
Yeah.
I've been go ahead.
No, no. I mean, and I think and I think, and this is my opinion. You go back to something you said earlier. Without there being healthy real life examples, where else were we supposed to get our examples from other than like fantasy and fairy tales and movies? Like I mentioned Prince Charming earlier. That ain't like a name that for real. It ain't like a name Prince Charming for real. Like, but in the
Somebody
movies,
named
it is.
their kid Prince Charming.
What is
Somebody
that?
might have named their kid. Somebody might have named their kids Prince Charming.
Okay.
We got all kind of names out there nowadays.
I'm just saying, it's an idea. It ain't necessarily a person. It's an idea, it's a
No,
concept.
I know, no, you're absolutely right. But what's crazy is that like that goes back to my childhood because that's how I was talked to as a kid. It was never like, it was never like soft talk, like how I talk to my kids. Like if you heard me talk to my kids, like I'm very like direct with them, but I'm also very soft. Like when I talk to them, very like I just want them to remember that anything that I'm saying is coming from a place of love. So, but I didn't have that. But I do that because I didn't have that growing up, and that's what I wanted. But because of those unhealed childhood traumas, they get mirrored back in my relationships. So that's why healing is just so important for relationships to work. But I think with the economy in the way that it is, and not being conducive to relationships, or not being conducive to being single, it's very important that we learn in our relationships. I think that's gonna be the end all be all. Is understand that like this relationship is has become a learning experience, and you can decide to continue this journey with this person, and it can grow, or if it's the wrong person, it's gonna deteriorate anyway. But the key is to not lose yourself in the process of the schooling, if that makes sense.
Right. One of the things I always talked about too, in past relationships that have been successful, is that like I always, and I think I mentioned this to you at one point as well. Like I always look at it as this, like handling business, like standing on business. So if you go into a relationship and treat it like a business, the likelihood of the relationship surviving is going to be a lot better. And the reason why I say that is because if you go into a business, you don't go into the business to fail. You go into the business to be successful as a business. Whether that's making money, turning a profit, having a successful nonprofit, whatever it is, you go into it to be successful. You don't go into it thinking, all right, I'm starting this business so it can fail in 3 to 5 years. we don't go into business like that. Also in business you make sacrifices. What they do during COVID. They reorganized the whole way people did business. They didn't stop doing business though. They just reformed and redefined how they did business. They had motherfuckers working from home. You know what I mean? They said everybody, and when they did that, they found out, wow, we save so much money with them working from home because we don't have to provide coffee for them for free every day. We save so much money with them being at home because we don't have to have lights on 24/7 up in here. We can only turn them on when the janitors come and clean the building. So everything, we gotta be able to approach relationships like that. Okay, the relationship started out like this. It looked like this in the beginning. Okay, but now the kids is older. Now instead of taking the kids all to the same daycare, they all gotta go to different practices. And this, how are we gonna do that? We can't just tell this kid you gotta walk and then drive the other two. That ain't right. So how are we gonna do? It's about utilizing what you know about being successful in life and successful in business, and referring that to your relationship. And remember, the end goal is to be successful. It's not to break up with the person. It's not to, all right, I'm done here. I'm going to go try to find somebody better or somebody different. Because it don't be better a lot of times. It be different. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it be mirroring shit back to you. And you be like, I want to get somebody that doesn't mirror that back to me. Is that a better fit for me? Not necessarily. But I don't want that to be mirrored back to me. Like, that's crazy. That's making a lateral move. One of the things in sports, like sports and coaching and shit, like in the NFL, that's going on right now. Shout out to the Super Bowl and all that. But people looking for coaches. Everybody needs new coaches because the team sucked last year. You need a new coach, right? But you can't go to a different team for the exact same amount of money, and you can't go for the exact same position. So if nothing else, they got to give you $1,000 more, and they got to put a little tag on your assistant something. But you still got the same exact job, but they call you something different over here at this other place because you can't do it. You can't just leave and go. The NFL won't let you do it. But that's what we do in the relationships. We literally just go to another stage. We're not upgrading. We're not getting no improvement on our title. We're not getting no more money. We just don't want to be mirrored these mirrors. I'll look at some other mirrors, some other flags before I look at these flags. But it makes it very transactional, man. And it's not healthy for anybody when everything is based on transactions.
Yeah, I know. Doing some soul searching, I learned a lot about my astrology chart, and most people ain't gonna understand this, but my Venus is in Capricorn, which means that a relationship that is transactional like that is business, not transactional, but that is like ran like a business, would be perfect for me. But what's funny is that because of my unhealed traumas, I would attract relationships that are not I would attract relationships that in my mind can grow if if this person takes my advice, because I see this person in a position that can probably use my help, and then I can advise them and they will grow. But of course, because they're still their own individual, they still have their own thoughts and free will, they don't. And so um not choosing a relationship based off like a business transaction and based off, maybe even familiarity, basically. I'm familiar with alcoholism. I know that like the back of my hand. I know how to eat with that. I know how to sleep with that. I know how to operate in that. And I think that like the relationships that I had actually was mirroring back to me like, what are you so afraid of? Why are you afraid to want better, to want more, to want someone to grow with versus having someone that you have to wait to grow, so, but I think it's just so important that like we learn about ourselves and we know what we want and what we truly want. Like, because sometimes what we want could really just be, it's really just, we want to revise our childhood. We want to remake our parents, redo a redo of our childhood. Okay, like for me, my mom was an alcoholic, so I found myself in relationships with other alcoholics, and what I learned is that I cannot change what happened in my childhood. I didn't even know that I was like before. I had no idea that I was doing this. So that's what's good about being in relationships like this is that they mirror those things back to you. But basically, I was trying to do for my partner what I wanted to do for my mom or what I couldn't do for my mom, you know. And I thought it would be easier because it's my partner, you know. And cuz believe it or not, I feel like women have like especially when it's your woman, like she should have a way to persuade you. She should have a way to encourage you to want to change and want to do better. And I think that for me, although addiction is a monster in itself, and I think for me as a child of alcoholic, it's like I really thought that I had more power over addiction, like or over my person more than addiction that I didn't have with my mom. Because there's things that I can't do with my mom, you know, but or couldn't do with my mom, rest her soul. But beautiful person by the way. Just had her own demons. But we really just have to acknowledge. We really have to just be honest with ourselves about who we are, what we here to do, what we in this relationship for. Do we have the same goals? What is the mission? Like you said, you have to basically treat it like a job. One of the biggest things that my job is constantly throwing in our face is the mission statement.
The what?
You
Oh,
heard
the mission
the
statement.
mission
Yeah,
statement.
I mean, and at jobs, you're required to do a certain amount of continued education if you're gonna continue to have that job. Every year they got training. Every year they got updates to the system. Every year they be doing this now.
To make it
Every
better.
year and every year we don't do that relationship. Maybe if we did, motherfuckers, and if you go into a relationship, like I say, approach it like a business, and give a person a 90-day probationary period. 3 months in, I can tell you right now, you failed. You did not meet the requirements. But we can't say that because it's supposed to be, oh, I love you. I love you. That's still the honeymoon phase, right? But
Not to mention, man, the unhealed piece. If you got abandonment issues, you're not gonna let somebody go in 3 months.
huh?
If you have abandonment issues, it's not gonna be easy to let somebody go in 3 months. And
Oh,
for the person that have avoidant, like avoidant attachment style, that abandoned person, person that has abandonment wounding, they're not gonna let you leave. They're not gonna make it easy for you to leave. So sometimes it's easier said than done.
oh yeah.
Like you can set,
No, all the
you
time,
can.
all the time is easier said than done. you know, and when I think about this, and I'm guilty of this. I can say this because through healing and through experience and through life, because I like the honeymoon phase of relationships. I literally would just do that part of it. And then when it's over and I started to see reality come, I started to be like, you know what? You actually
Yeah,
a
let's
dope
go.
ass female, man. And I really think when the person for you find you and y'all lock in, bro, y'all unstoppable, bro. I swear, because you dope as hell. Just not to me, next honeymoon, baby. I'm ready for the next honeymoon. We can still be friends though. So I mean, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I got a lot of female friends that are no longer my friends because when they find out that that's what I was doing, they be like, all right, we can be friends until they see me with a real girlfriend again. They be like, thought you said I was dope. Thought you said I was dope. Why you smiling with her at Applebee's? Why y'all smelling Applebee's now? That was me. But I mean, it just, I mean, like, I don't know. To me, that's transparency. To some people, they may see it as womanizing, playing with these women's feelings, playing with these women's time. To me, it's transparency. I go into it telling the person, hey, I like the honeymoon phase. We're probably going to end up as friends. I want to go to a basketball game with you. That don't mean that if I go to the basketball game with you and I buy you some $20, $40 tacos, I pay for your ticket, open the door, and take you home, I'm not trying to hit. I'm tired. I was just screaming at the game. I'm a sportsman. I be hollering and doing shit at the game. That don't mean we go together. I know it sounds like a great date. That don't mean we go together. That don't mean I like you. That means that you were a date with me and you was my companion to the game. I don't know how to do that and say that more clearer than I can. And every time I do that, it ends up being expectations of me that ain't really what I'm intending to do. So that almost put me in a position where I don't want to do it no more. I used to love taking random people to the game. I mean, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let you talk. So my ideal date is a platonic female going to a sporting event with me, preferably in Milwaukee or Minnesota. And the reason why is because I can go to the game. I don't have to feel weird or crazy about buying no refreshments. Because I don't want to buy my guy brand no refreshments. I don't want to do that. But he came to the game with me. He probably don't know that beers is $18. He probably don't know nachos is $26. He probably don't know that. He wasn't prepared to spend that kind of, because our tickets were only $9 because that's the kind of motherfucker I am. We're going to be sitting in the nosebleed. And then we got to pay $18 for the bill. But take Shorty to the game. She don't know shit about the game probably anyway. So the fact that we in nosebleeds don't matter. We walk around, take some pictures of everybody else to see what's up. You know, we could probably sneak down and get some better seats. Oh. Now, in the past, I had a drinking problem. I was going to drink at the game, so I was going to not drive back. I'm going to get a room I'm going to get a hotel in Milwaukee. I'm going to get a hotel in Minnesota. Now, I ain't trying to do nothing with Shorty, but since we in the big city, we got a hotel room, we going out. We going out. You get some contacts. I'm going to get some contacts so the next time I come to the mill, I got some people to hit up. Hey, I met you after the game that night, show you what's up. Like, ooh, I ain't trying to do that, but it's another game tonight. Or it's a comedy show going on. It's a concert going out there. You live in the town. What if I just slide down? Ooh, like, I ain't trying to do nothing crazy, but now at least I got some contacts, some people in the city that I know, and maybe I ain't got to drive nobody down from Green Bay next time. It's all schematic. It's all in the numbers, man. It's all in the numbers. But if I take you to a hotel room and you're a female and you're not bad looking and you think I'm attractive, you're probably going to think I'm attractive. And when I don't, you know what that does? It causes self-esteem issues. It makes you feel like I don't think you're good enough to hit when I never intended to do it anyway. It causes issues. It causes problems. Then, like we said, if you got any type of abandonment issues, now you're sticking to me. Now you're clinging to me to make me believe that you're good enough for me to fuck next time we go to Milwaukee. Like, you don't even gotta do that. But that's how the mind works. Now it's like, I'm gonna prove to you I'm good enough now. I'm gonna go out of the way. I'm not just your female friend no more. I'm liking you in the back of my mind. For a $9 Bucks ticket, a $9 Bucks ticket is some chicken. But this is how the world works, man. And then if I go now, next thing you know, I'm at this house living with her kids. I don't even know how I got here. I got my own apartment across town. How did I live with you now? Like, what did I do? But that's what be happening, man. Or they live with me. They be in my house. I'm just trying to set up all these kids you got. This is a one bedroom. It's just a bachelor pad. What's all these people here? But that's what be happening, man. I'm giving y'all real life examples. I'm just, hey, it's Testimony Tuesday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. What day is it?
It's Monday.
No, but that's what's up. No, it ain't Monday. It's Sunday. I think it's Sunday going into Monday. Oh, no, it's damn near Monday now. Hey, well, we on Central Standard Time. I don't know where y'all watching this at. I hope y'all getting some value from it. I'm gonna let Weezy talk for a little bit. See, I mean, because the thing with me is, This is the One King podcast. I get to talk the whole time. I want to hear what she got to say. That's why she's a special guest. So, like I asked you earlier, I asked you what are some of the short term and long term solutions for me. And let me ask you this. Now, she's in a dating game or single or whatever the case may be, over 35. To you, what's your ideal date? I just gave y'all an example of what mine would be from the male perspective. A guy that's not really looking to be in a relationship, though. What's your ideal date?
My ideal date. Well, I mean, I love food, so I definitely want to go somewhere to eat. Preferably Italian. You know, I enjoy laughing. Maybe a comedy set. Um, you know, I'm actually kind of like a romantic kind of person, but because because I grew up with a lot of brothers, I think I like shy away from the romantic stuff, but I actually like it low key, you know. But I just really love laughing, like, and I really love deep conversation. So movie probably wouldn't be ideal because we can't talk during the movie. But I love intellectual stimulation conversation. So anything that can get me in that realm, that's my ideal date. Whether it's eating, whether it's, you know, I don't know. I like talking. I like listening. I like learning. I like growing. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's probably more simpler than one might imagine. But I don't know. Nowadays, these guys don't want to invest conversation. They don't. I mean, I don't want to say they're not that smart, but I don't know if that intellectual conversation is like intimidating to some of these guys, or they just not interested. They know what they want. A lot of these guys, they not like you. I always say you're very unique in your approach. Most guys, they're not doing that for nothing. You're not going to a baseball game for nothing. You're not going to a basketball game for fun. You're not going to a hotel for nothing. All that has a meaning. All of it, you have to read in between the lines so that he don't look like a jerk. So I think a lot of what you experience is the back end of your, you know, of what all guys will do in terms of dating to get in the pants. And then for you to like say like, no, I don't want to get in your pants. Like, dude, you just did all this stuff for what? Like, you telling me all them years, all them different like dates that I've been on, and all the times that I done turned them down because I'm like, who do you think I am? And then I get like scolded for like turning him down. Then you telling me that like I'm in the wrong for like wanting some? Like, dude, what? So, but nonetheless,
Did you see that on
um,
your phone
I don't
when
know.
you did that? Your little thumb popped up.
The
That was
thumbs
cute.
up. Yeah. But I don't know. I honestly like growing. I think you know that about me. I love learning and growing. So like having stimulated conversations, learning about the person, um, them really wanting to get to know me as a person, um, that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's dope, but I think you're being completely honest when you say that, and I think more people want that than would ever admit. My thing is, what date do you do that on? I'm not doing that on the first date. Not me. I'm very intellectual. I love to talk shit. I love to get spiritual. I love to talk about 5%. I love to talk about mathematics. I love to talk about concepts and perspectives. You know that's my shit. I love to do that shit, especially if I'm sober. That's my jam. But at the end of the day, I'm not doing that on the first date. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Nobody doing that on the first date. What are you talking about? I'm doing that on the first. Maybe the third date, maybe the fourth, maybe the second if we really got the environment to do it. But no, we're not doing it. What do you do that at? What do you get to do that at? You can't do that in no restaurant. I ain't gonna try to talk deep to you over no motherfucking salmon. My breath smell like fish and onions. I ain't gonna do all that shit. But um,
then don't eat salmon.
I'll give you an example. But what I'm saying is, so you know, when you think about something like that, just from a guy's perspective, for planning on something like that, and if I hear that, and if somebody watching the show hear that, and they want to take you on a date, what's the places we start thinking of? All right, maybe I can take her to an art gallery. Maybe I can take her to an art museum. Maybe I can take her to a book signing. Maybe I can take her to some shit like, oh, okay, I know she like spirituality. It's a psychic fest, a psychic festival. I can't go on a date with you because I'm working at. I'm reading at that. You can't bring me to that. I'm already gonna be there. But some shit like that, Down in Madison, they got one coming up. The Saturday after Valentine's Day in Madison, they got like a big dumbass psychic fair down there they doing in the Badger Stadium where they play the basketball games at. Unfortunately, it's a basketball game the day after that. That's why I know that. So I would rather go to the basketball game. But yeah.
I like ghost stuff, like hunting. I like hunting. Ghost hunting.
Yeah, but ain't no time to be talking to you deep when we running scared from paranormal activity up to that motherfucker.
But I'm saying, like, that to me that would be fun, like going to a haunted house, like a real haunted house.
You ain't say that on your profile. You didn't say that. You ain't say that on Tinder. You didn't tell nobody that on Tinder.
That's in the background. That's probably gonna be like third date stuff because I ain't trying to scare nobody away. But
right, exactly. Third date. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Give me some credit. Give me some credit on my number.
Yeah, but hotel definitely needs to be like on the 6 months. Okay.
Huh?
I'm awesome. Go to. No, I said the hotel thing definitely should be the month 6.
Not what hotel? What's on hotel?
Your date, your first date approach.
I don't know. That wasn't no first date. That was just the ideal date. That wasn't no first date. I don't know. Ain't no getting no hotel on the first date. You know what I'm doing on the first date. We going to see a $6 movie. Maybe I believe.
Hey, for real though, like you gotta tell the people about that though, because I think that's real slick.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, and I did a stand up about this. One of the first stand ups I ever did was about how cheap I am when I'm going on these dates. Because if I don't call it cheap, I'm a businessman. I'm trying to curb my investment. I don't know how much it's just like buying cryptocurrency. I don't know if the crypto gonna grow or if it's gonna go down. So before I go put all my money investing in it, I got to do a light investment, right? I'm talking numbers to y'all. My gentleman is out there in the cryptocurrency. My women out there in the cryptocurrency. A light investment, right? Ain't that what we do with the new crypto? So me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna take you on the weekend because I don't know you like that. Your son might play basketball or something. You might be tired on the weekend. I don't know. Your weekend's already packed up. So I'm gonna pick a Saturday night, a Tuesday. Ain't shit going on Tuesday. Also, just so happens movies are only $6 on Tuesday. It all works out for me. So that way, if the movie's good, or if you're talking in the movie, I can actually talk to you. If the movie's good, great. If it's not, I'm not mad. I didn't spend $15 each. I spent $6, a total of $12.66 to be exact. so I got my little $12 in. Okay, after the movie, feel free. If you had a good time, feel free. Go home or you can hang out with me because after the movie, which happens to end at 9 o'clock because we went at 7, the movie ends at 9. Starting at 9 o'clock, Applebee's have half price apps. All the apps are half price. Don't buy the platter though. Don't buy the platter because when you get the platter, that's not half off. You got to buy each one individually. But the good thing is when you buy each one individually, you actually get more per plate. So you get to get some boneless wings, some spinach dip, some mozzarella sticks, some other shit they got that I can't remember. But they got a lot of stuff on there, and it's like $3 or $4. You can fill up your whole table. I got a picture. We can fill up the whole table and spend $9.99. We spent like $11 or shit like that. I can't remember, but $12 for the movie, $15 for the motherfucker. All you can eat apps that you could ever imagine. You got to take home and everything. So you got $27 invested in a fantastic date. Now you didn't have time see how she carry herself in the movie, see how she act. If she snuck some food in, she got that little hood to her. But if she didn't, then she got a movie a little bit. But candy on sale, so you good though. But but and then you get to go out and eat with her, talk, chop it up with her. Y'all ain't eating nothing heavy. Like I mentioned the salmon, you ain't eating nothing heavy like that with the salmon with the onions on your bread. No, you eating
Finger
appetite.
food. It's finger food.
Finger food,
Yeah.
one third. You can eat it nice and still be
Cute.
cute. Shorty can
Yeah.
still be. And 9 times out of 10, Applebee's got a brand new drink that's either $1 or $5, and it looks pretty than the motherfucker. They got one right now with kissy lips in it. The thing for Valentine's Day. Just have this for me. Have this. It's only $5. The same drink with an apple in it is $50 in Las Vegas. So just take me out. Take me later.
Yeah.
But nah,
Thank you
man.
for that. I think that's gonna help a lot of people, especially guys that's worried about dating. Cause I know, I mean, I've seen the videos where women are complaining about like the cost. Oh, you just gonna spend $50 or da da da. Like none of that. To me, none of that matters. Like it's like money matters. Like in terms of like us discussing long-term relationships and really building together and treating your relationship like a business venture, but in terms of like going on dates, because when you live in real life, right, and you got real bills and and you dealing with the economy we're in, you need to learn how to eat like that. Like you need to learn how to go see movies on the budget, like for yourself, even like as an individual person. So it's just insane that the world we live in, that people have these expectations that they're not willing to meet on their own. And that's what I was talking about earlier about codependency. I'm pretty sure a girl that was talking about, and I'm just thinking of that one video where I think he took her for coffee or something, and it's another one like he took her to like a restaurant for lunch, which I thought those was great options. Like Starbucks, I'm with it. Like like anywhere there's food, I'm with it. So, but
And the coffee house be having a nice little atmosphere. The sun be shining through the windows and shit.
you
Like,
can actually talk at a coffee shop.
yeah.
But I feel like what's happening is that women are setting expectations for men that they're not willing to meet for themselves. So, which I used to do, I used to think of doing a lot, but I never do. I always date it down, if that makes sense. But that
One
was
of
my own ego. Like, what?
one of the things that I know that women are doing, and I have this from several sources, is that they're prepping themselves so that if the amount of money that's spent on a date, if they prepping themselves, they just say, I'm gonna get fucked today. So I'm making sure this nigga spend at least $100. What's happening? Like I ain't no way to sugarcoat it. I was gonna try to put it a simpler way, but it's like you said, the women have expectations and the guys got expectations. The guy in his mind thinks if I spend $100, I'm supposed to get this. The woman thinking, well, if he spent $100, I'll probably just give him a little bit. So let me make sure he spent $100 at least. So when he fuck me, it's worth it, right? So that's what's happening. It's so transactional. Nobody's thinking about the second date. Like I go into it thinking about the second date. I go into it knowing I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you today. I don't want to. Because why would I? Why mess up an opportunity? If I really like you, why mess up an opportunity to get another chance to hang out with you? Because things get really weird after sex. If the sex is good, she might become crazy. If the sex is terrible, she may never want to see you again. So why risk it? Why just not do it the first time? Give her that respect. Give her that token. She can walk away with that token. Damn, I got this, and then I ain't have to give up nothing. Well, how does she feel about it? Give her that. Give yourself the opportunity to be like, I was able to restrain myself and walk away, and now I get to see this lovely person again in a different aspect of it. Because shit do get weird after sex. I don't care what nobody say. It does. It does. I mean, what's your take on it?
Um, yeah, yeah. I think that you got me stumbling because remember our first time. So So I'm like just thinking to myself, like, did it get weird? I don't think it got weird for us. I don't remember it being weird. I remember like wanting more of it,
That's
if
what I mean.
that's weird.
Yeah, and that was weird. The only weird part about it is that we agreed that it would be one time. But we both
Yeah,
then agreed that it wouldn't be one time. Technically, that's weird. Technically, we both lied.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's why like people that know me, like I don't even have sex like that, especially when I'm single. But when I do, like you said, I'm exactly like that. If it's good, I'm gonna want more of it. If it's bad, I'm never gonna want to see you again.
Right.
So which is not nice. I don't think,
I
or
mean,
not
it's
fair.
fair.
But
It's fair.
yeah, but
Like, it's fair.
but I just rather not put somebody in a position like that. So it's like that's why I just rather not have sex. Cause it's like, cause at least if you had a few dates, you can actually like get to know or get to like this person, for what you've learned versus like, cause once you have sex with them, if it's good, you literally don't even really know if you like the person.
Right. You
You
don't
just
care
like,
about the nigga no more. You just like the dick.
yeah. So, but you know, yeah. I
That's
feel
what.
like
Hey,
North.
hey, y'all better take it
I
from
feel
us.
like
We do couple readings. Y'all better come get one of these couple readings, boy. I'm telling y'all, I can put y'all up on so much game, and then she'll come and drop the cards on y'all with the spirituality and tie it all in. And y'all be like, damn, I've been
yeah.
wasting my whole life.
Speaking of which, like if you got concerns about somebody, if you got concerns in your relationship, if you want to fix your relationship, like readings will help you with that. Like if you want to know if you're gonna be compatible, you can actually find out if the sex is gonna be good with somebody before you have sex with them in the reading, you know. But yeah, so you can find out like if they're gonna be good for you overall, or if it's just for fun. I feel like when it comes to single readings, a lot of it be like, just have fun. And the women always, always be like, yeah, I'm just going to have fun. That's it, 3 weeks later, girl, he cheated on me. And I'm like, how he cheated on you? He wasn't even your boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah, he not
That's
my
fine.
boyfriend, he not my boyfriend, but we had agreed. Y'all agreed. But he not your boyfriend? Like, how did? So it's like, sex does make things weird. Like, and I think it's because the expectations change. Just like titles. Titles create expectations. Um, like for example, like my last husband, I felt like he wanted to get married because he believed in his mind if he was married, he would change. I really believe that he believed that. But he didn't. So I, held him accountable for his word. And when he didn't change, things didn't work. So, but you know, sex do make things weird, and it makes you do things you probably don't even want to do. You probably literally just want to have sex with that person, but because you're only have like me personally, I only have sex with one person at a time. Okay, that's a personal preference. You know, that's just how I roll. But because of that, I be feeling like that person should only have sex with me, you know? So it's like, but at the same time, I be feeling like, well, you're not my man, like man, my man. So who am I to tell you that you can't have sex with anybody else? Or who am I to be jealous of anybody else? So then I end up like breaking it off with them or like breaking up with them, whatever. Because it's like, I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to be loyal and faithful and all these things, and you're not that back to me. Like, that just sounds stupid. Like, technically, you're probably putting my life at risk. And if I wanted my life at risk, I would do it myself, and at least I'll get an extra nut out of it or something. Like, I don't even get nothing from that. Like, But anyway, I'm going way off. But um,
Hey,
it's late.
hey, y'all. That's why be happy, ain't it? But
Yeah.
but no, man. I mean, I really hope that y'all was able to gain some things. I mean, I think the insight and just the way we look at things a lot of times is different. I think just being honest with ourselves and being honest with each other, being honest with the listeners and the viewers, I think that's the best thing we can do for ourselves and for everybody. Because if it's on your mind, it matters. If I think this way, I'm sure there's other individuals out there that probably think very similar, if not the same with you. If people think like how you think, I just think that it's important for us to continue to utilize our platforms and our voices out here so that we can let people know that there's other people out here like them, right? To think like that.
Yeah.
Um, I recently went to an Alcohol Anonymous meeting, and one of the things I found out is that alcoholism looks the same in a lot of different people, but the results and the way that they treat or react to their alcoholism is so very different. So I think it's the same way with love and love interest and romance and that sort of thing. I think everybody wants some form of romance or some form of love. It just looks very different to everybody, and everybody got their own version of it. One of the things that Blush has told me is that she pretty much learned about love and relationships and things like that, and how she wanted to feel through a group named Hanson. A bunch of white boys from Oklahoma. A bunch of white boys from Oklahoma. She was raised in the hood. What did I tell y'all? So whatever we think she like is wrong, niggas. We wrong, niggas. We not Hanson. We wrong, niggas. You better listen to Hanson if you want to date her. But that's just an example. And, for me, I thought that I was Brian McKnight. I'm not Brian McKnight. One last cry, one last cry. And they said, what you crying for, you goofy? Don't be crying to me, you goofy. You cheesy, you goofy. But
I think it's lovely what you sing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Every moment, even when it becomes annoying.
Funny. That's what's up. So you gonna send us off? You got something you want to cap off the night with, man, or the morning with now?
Well, I just want to say, I definitely hope that the information that we share with y'all today is impactful. Even if you take away one thing, that's awesome. That is my goal. One person. And I appreciate the listeners. Thank you for having me on this podcast. Hopefully you'll have me again. So I appreciate it.
No doubt, no doubt, man. I definitely appreciate you. I'm not sure when you guys are going to check this out, but just remember, Super Bowl is on February 9th. This Black History Month, 2 black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl for the second time in 5 years, or 4 years, actually, 3 years. It was 2022 when these same 2 quarterbacks faced each other last time in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs won that one. We're going to see how this one ends up because the same 2 teams, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Shout out to all my black quarterbacks. If you haven't watched it, it's a movie called The Evolution of the Black Quarterback on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Shameless plug. I don't get no money for this. I don't own the content. But check out that movie. It's very informative, and it talks about some of the struggles and some of the journeys that our black quarterbacks like Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, all these guys we know from back in the day had to go through for these 2 guys to be able to be in place to play in one of the biggest Super Bowls in Super Bowl history. So stay tuned for that, man. Also, the Grammys is this week or some shit like that. I always tell people, they try to fuck up Black History Month. Every weekend, they got some shit for Black History. This weekend is the Grammys, next weekend is the Super Bowl, the weekend after that is Valentine's Day. They taking up all whole fucking Black History Month. We can't do shit because they already got shit planned for us. Stop fucking with our month, man. But that's what's up, man. I appreciate your time. We gonna go about here. My name is Showtime. I'm the host. I want to say thank you to my special guest, Luscious. Check her out, True Reflection LLC on Facebook, 7 Beautiful B7 on Instagram, and what is it on TikTok?
True Reflection LLC.
True Reflection LLC on TikTok. Check us out on the socials, man. I'm One King Media. My name is Showtime. We out. Peace.